Hello, today we're going to talk about exponential growth versus decay, and we're going to recap kind of what we learned so far, and we're going to try to answer some questions that I picked from your Khan Academy assignments for the week. But let's start with remembering what the exponential functions was. Well, what you see as fx equals a times b to the x power is the generic exponential function. But we have two different kinds of exponential functions, where there's one can be the growth and the second one is the decay. And how does that actually differ depending on the question? Well, everything depends on the rate, the growth factor, okay? Your b value. So when you have a growth, your b is greater than 1. When you have a decay, your b value is between 0 and 1. There is no equal signs, so it cannot be 0, it cannot be 1. It cannot be a negative number either. When it comes to the graphs of these, how will be the graphs? Let's make quick generic xy coordinates. There we go. So, if I have a growth, my function will come from here. It's going to go something like this. And if I have a decay, my function will come like this. So, you can think of it as the resemblance of linear equations, positive, negative, slope. So if you have a positive slope, your left to right graph will be like a positive slope, and left to right is going to be like a negative slope. This doesn't mean, this is just for you to kind of make that connection and understand the growth, positive slope, and the decay as a negative slope. Now let's look at a question from Khan Academy where they give you these graphs and they are asking which one of the functions could represent the graph. Let's break that down. So here's the question. I'm given a graph and I'm going to start by writing the generic standard form of my exponential function. Now, let's make an x and y table. Because what I know is that when my x is 0, my y will be equal to my a value. And what's great about that is we have learned whenever x is 0, the y value is also equal to y-intercept. So I'm looking at the y-axis and my graph is intercepting my y-axis right at 2. So now I know that a equals to 2. Now I need to figure out what b would be depending on certain points. But let's see what those certain points that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the crosshairs where my line is passing, look at it over here, right at this point where x equals 1 and y is 4. Just like this. And then I'm following my line and I see another point over here. When x equals to 2, y equals to 8. So let's write these equations with these numbers and see what my what my b value would be. I'm gonna grab a different color and start with that. So my y equals to 4 when a equals to 2 and b to the first power. If I solve this, b to the first power equals to 2. I actually found my b, but to be on the safe side, let's see if this equation will work for the other value. So my equation is fx equals 2 times 2 to the x power. Let's see if it works with the 2 as well. Well, when y is 8, 2 times 2 to the second power. If this is a correct statement, I'm on the money. I got my b value correct. So if I do this, 8 equals 2 times 4, 8 equals 8. Correct. So what this tells me is my b value is 2. And the function of this graph would be function of graph. All right. So we're looking at those points. Very, very important. Now, another type of question that I've been seeing on Khan Academy assignments is exponential versus linear growth over time. So let's look at a question on that, and let's break that down, how we should be looking at it.